Welcome back to Feature Recaps. Today, I will show you a thriller crime film titled Memories of Murders, released in the year 2003. A woman was found raped and murdered in a ditch near a field in a small Korean province on October 23, 1986. Local detective Park Do-man goes back to the police office and we witness his flimsy investigation. However, Do-man is not stereotypical. Everybody else in the station is shown as incompetent, with constant chaos at the station and the crime scene. The police find another woman who was raped and murdered. Do-man finds the footprint of the killer and marks it with a stick. He complains to his police chief that the crime is ruined because children are playing around at the crime scene with a corpse lying there, but the police chief is only thinking about the media portrayal of the story. Then a vehicle runs through the footprints and Do-man scolds the forensic team for being late. At the police office, Do-man states to his chief that he has a way of determining suspects by eye contact. He learns from his girlfriend that a scared mentally handicapped boy, Bi Kwang-ho, followed the woman, Hyang-suk, the night she was murdered. So Do-man decides to question him first. He arrests him with the help of his fellow policeman, Cho Young-koo, who tortures the poor boy in an attempt to extract a confession. Cho plays an extremely bad cop with mindless, genuine rage and pleasure in beating people. Meanwhile, a detective, Tae-yoon, from Seoul, shows up to help the provincial policeman with the case. When Tae-yoon helped the women, Do-man mistook him for an assaulter and beat him. Do-man rashly forged fake footprints of Kwang-ho to cover up the fact that a vehicle had just run over a crucial piece of evidence. Do-man and Cho records Kwang-ho, telling him who the woman was murdered, while Tae-yoon stands aside watching Do-man's methods, often smoking a cigarette. He is calm, competent, and professional. Tae-yoon looks at Kwang-ho's hands and deems them too weak and scared to be able to commit such an elaborate crime. The police try to reenact the crime with the suspect, Kwang-ho, but it all turns into a fool's parade, revealing their lies. Chief Shin Dong-chul investigates the location of the women's murders with Do-man, Tae-yoon, and Cho. Tae-yoon reveals to the chief that the murders took place on a rainy day and that the women were wearing red-colored clothes and tell the chief that the killer murdered 3 women, not 2. Tae-yoon explains that the third woman's name is Hyun-soon, who went missing on a rainy day and also wore a red shirt, which Do-man and Cho didn't agree with his theory. Tae-yoon asks his chief to give him 2 days to find Hyun-soon's body. While Do-man and Cho are relaxing, Tae-yoon finds Hyun-soon, who was raped and murdered. The following night, a woman heads out in the rain, but while leaving she removes her red jacket. While walking, the woman believes that someone is following her, so she runs, but she is attacked by the killer. In the morning, police find the woman's body, who was killed in the same way as the previous murders. A female police officer, Kwon Kwyok, realizes that the local radio station is always requested to play a particular song during the nights the murders are committed. When detectives return to a crime scene after another halt during the investigation, Do-man and Cho are performing a spell bought from a local shaman woman to reveal the killer's face. They hide when they hear someone coming up. When Detective Tae-yoon shows up while listening to the melody that supposedly the killer plays before every murder, Do-man quietly ridicules Tae-yoon's methods of investigation, shamefully aware of his own unconventional method, but Cho replies, still, he's got the style, but then a local man arrives, pulls out undergarments, and masturbates in a woman's red lingerie. Cho accidentally steps on a twig, prompting the man to run. They chased him into a crowd. Tae-yoon attempts to find a way to get everyone's attention, but Do-man identifies the man first after seeing him bend over and partially expose the red lingerie underneath his pants. Despite already having identified him, he acts as if he is using his eye contact method once more and has Cho apprehend him. Do-man and Cho continued their tactic and brutally beat the man. Tae-yoon finds a survivor of the killer after tracing rumors around the local school with the help of Kwon. After the survivor learns that the killer's hands were noticeably soft, Tae-yoon manages to clear the man as his hands are very rough. Infuriated that they lost their suspect, Do-man scuffles with Tae-yoon until Kwon alerts them that the same song the murderer requested is playing. They realize it's raining and arrive too late to find another woman murdered. Upon doing an autopsy on the latest victim, they discover pieces of peach in the body. Do-man and Tae-yoon decide to work together. Tae-yoon talks to a schoolgirl about a possible suspect and helps her put a band-aid on an injury on her waist. They follow a trail of clues to a factory worker, Park Hyun-jae, who had only moved to the area a short time before the first murder. They track the song using documents from the radio station to his address. The detectives are initially unable to pin anything on him. However, Tae-yoon notices that his hands are soft like the survivor he questioned earlier. Park Hae-in begins to show discomfort when Tae-yoon presents the peaches and he thinks he's found the killer. Before he can question him more, Cho loses control and beats Park Hae-in, prompting their chief to ban him from the interrogation room. Do-man and Tae-yoon listen to Kwang Ho's earlier confession of a previous murder. Tae-yoon points out that he talks as if someone else did it, and they realize he knew the details of the murder because he witnessed it. They go to Kwang Ho's father's restaurant, only to discover a drunken Cho there. As people make fun of Cho on the TV, he beats everyone in the restaurant. Kwang Ho arrives partway through the brawl and joins the fray, swinging a wooden board at Cho's leg and accidentally piercing it with a rusty nail. Do-man and Tae-yoon chase Kwang Ho and question him, but he gets frightened and runs into the path of an oncoming train, where he is hit and killed. Do-man learns that Cho's leg will have to be amputated because the rusty nail causes tetanus, leaving Do-man feeling guilty about what he had gotten his partner and best friend into. They discover a trace of semen on one of the bodies, but because of a lack of forensic technology, the sample has to be sent to the United States to confirm if suspect Park Hae-in is the killer with DNA evidence. Tae-yoon tries to follow Park Hae-in, but he dozes off and misses his chance. That night, Do-man's girlfriend walks through the forest, watched by an unknown figure in the shadows, but a younger girl passes by, and she is captured and killed instead. The next morning, her body was discovered. Tae-yoon sees a band-aid on her waist and recognizes her as the same schoolgirl that he befriended while investigating the murders. Enraged at the loss, Tae-yoon's frustrations finally flow over, and he snaps. He attacks Park Hae-in until he is interrupted by Do-man, bringing documents from America regarding the semen sample. However, the papers state the sample does not match Park Hae-in's DNA. Tae-yoon shouts that the documents are fabricated and that he knows Park Hae-in is the murderer. Do-man uses his eye contact method on the suspect, but realizes he cannot draw any conclusions, unlike before. Tae-yoon attempts to shoot the suspect, but Do-man stops him and lets Park Hae-in go. In the end, the crimes remain unsolved. While visiting the crime scene years later in 2003, Do-man, now a businessman, learns from a little girl that the scene had recently been visited by another unknown man. The little girl had asked the man why he was looking at the ditch and was told he was reminiscing about something he had done there long ago. The film ends as Do-man, realizing this, looks straight at the camera, seemingly using his eye contact method to spot the killer among the audience. Make sure to subscribe, click the bell for more videos, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.